Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things of the spiritual journey, spiritual awakening, so you can step into being your authentic self and living in your purpose. Today we're going to talk about starting your own spiritual journey. Oh my God, that's so exciting. So I'm going to talk about how and what I've done to embark on my spiritual journey. I'm going to talk about literally how it happened, like the things I've done to embark on this spiritual journey, and why spirituality works for me compared to other religions and other practices. So, to begin this conversation, I feel like it's important to acknowledge how there are certain things that has been put onto us that we kind of just gravitate towards because it's what we've been exposed to. But when it comes to spirituality, that's something that's not been around my environment. Like, nobody around me has practiced spirituality. They are very much religion with either Catholic or Christianity. I was raised doing both. I was raised and baptized as a Catholic person, and over the years, I had, experienced Christianity. And for me, if I'm being super honest, neither of them related or resonated with me at all. I always questioned things and why they were the way that they were, and it just never made me feel seen at all. And I feel like it's good to have this conversation, even though it could be a little bit taboo because it's something that's, completely outside of our norm. But I think it's good to remember our roots. And I feel like spirituality goes back to our ancestral roots before we were given away and became slaves. Before we became slaves into the countries that we are from, and American as a Caribbean, I'm Afro Latina, so obviously I come from African descent, which means I was brought here through slavery into my country. And before that happened, we had our own religions, our own practices, our own spiritual beliefs that was wiped away from us, as well as our language and our food and all these other things. And so I feel like for me, spirituality kind of brings me back to that. Spirituality makes me feel very much connected to my ancestors, very much connected to my roots. And that is a part of the spiritual practices that I indulge in. And with Christianity and religion, hey, before I start this conversation, anybody is entitled to have their own religion. And this is why I appreciate spirituality, because we're not so focused on like the right way to be, like if you're Christian or Catholic or atheist or whatever it is that you are, that is on you. That's what you want to do. And that is fine because you are the creator and the master of your reality. So if you feel like that is your God, then let that be your God. I don't care. I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do things in life. This is just my preference. This is what resonates with me. And I think everyone should do whatever resonates with them. But the thing is that people are not doing what resonates with them. People are doing what's been given to them. And I feel like spirituality has given me that space to be who I am. The many reasons why I practice spirituality is because I feel like there is no right or wrong way to do it. I can be spiritual in any way, shape, or form possible that I desire to be. I don't have to go to a church on Sundays. I don't have to go to Bible class, and that will make me more spiritual and more religious than others. I don't have to go preach to somebody else the word to make me feel like I'm doing the work and I'm above all, and that's how I'm going to go to heaven. That is not how spirituality works, at least for me, because you can also have your own form of spirituality that works for you. But for me, spirituality, I feel like I do what resonates with my spirit. Okay? And so that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the things that can be spiritual practices, but it's really up to you, and you tap into whatever resonates with you. But that is something that I appreciate about spirituality, that there's no right or wrong way to do it. Okay? You are going to still be spiritual. It's you connecting with yourself. Spirituality is about connecting with your God-like self within yourself. And I love that, because I know some people may not like to hear this, but the way that I see some specific religions, I feel like it takes away from your power, and it relies on someone else to like help you see things, when in all reality, you're the one that's doing everything. No one's actually doing and orchestrating anything for you in this lifetime. And I feel like sometimes religion can make it seem that way, and I do not resonate with that. I believe that I have the power and ability to give myself the life that I desire with the help of a higher God, of a higher power. But it's all within myself, and I feel like the higher power is helping me see the power within myself. And that's how I'm able to then create the life that I desire. But I think that for me, at least, growing up with Catholic and religious beliefs, I've seen my mother and many people like pray to God. And not to say that God is not real. Obviously, he is very real. I believe in God. But praying to God to like help them do something that they have the power to do themselves. But you're waiting and you're praying for someone to do the miracle change in your life, when in all reality, it is up to you to change it. No magical miracle is going to happen. I feel like that was something that was taught to us to honestly keep us feeling hopeful and have faith, but have faith in somebody else, somebody outside of us. And to be honest, if we go really deep into this, that is very much a thing that someone that's in power, that has power over you, would want you to think. And a lot of us picked up Christianity and Catholic beliefs from slavery. Yeah. A lot of the things that we believe in, like Christianity and Catholic religion, was put onto us when we were taken away from our original countries and our original cultures and our original spiritual beliefs. And so it kind of gives you the idea that someone is going to save you, and they don't. The reality is that there's nothing that's going to come save you for real. You have to believe that you have the power within yourself to go make that change. And I feel like God helps you see that power within you. Now, these are my beliefs. This is what I feel. This is my beliefs on spirituality. I use spirituality and I use spiritual tools to help me see the God-like within myself, so that I can go do those things. I use God's source energy to help me see the God energy within me. And that is what I believe to have spirituality be. Like, that's what spirituality is for me. It is me tapping into my own power so I can see my true power. Because if we are all from God, then that means I'm a God. And that means that you're a God. And that means that we're all God. That means that we're all God-like. If you come from your mother and she is, I don't know, Puerto Rican, then that makes you Puerto Rican. No? So that's how I like to look at it. That's the way I view it. If we are all from God and God created all of us, then I am God-like. That means I have God-like abilities. And I'm not sitting here to say that I am a creator and I could create a whole motherfucking world like he did, but I can create in this world. I can make things happen in this world. And so I use that way of thinking to make the things in my life happen, to create the reality that I desire in this lifetime. You see, with religion, They have taught us that heaven and hell is when you die. I don't believe that. I believe heaven and hell is right here. and I've lived both. I've lived heaven and hell in this reality. And I feel like that idea of like heaven and hell being outside of this reality is another form of controlling you, of controlling the people to comply with the good things that you're supposed to do and the bad things. All people do is think about like if they're being a good person or not, or if they're being bad. Sometimes people don't give a fuck if they're being bad people because they don't given up on, you know, faith and belief that they have space for heaven. So if they done something bad one or a few times, because we're not perfect people, we make mistakes and we learn throughout life of how to be a good person. But if you made a few mistakes and you feel like God is never going to forgive you, then you don't surrender yourself to evilness, and you didn't even have to. You only think that because you've been told that. And that's sad. Because my God, he has room for forgiveness. He forgives me because he knows I didn't know any better. He forgives me because he knows that I'm learning. He forgives me because I'm working on how to overcome my own struggles to then become a better person for not only myself, but for other people. He gives me the power and the tools that I need to help myself be a better person so I can then not be the evil that I have endured and also become because of what I've endured. So for me, this is how I view spirituality, and the tools that I have used to help me see the good and the God within myself has been plenty. There's a lot of spiritual tools that I like to use. The first thing I started doing when I started my spiritual journey was meditating. Meditating is that motherfucking girl. Like, I don't care if you think it's hard, get to it, because it's going to change your life. It really, really is. It really, really is. And trust me, I was not like quick and into the meditation. It took me a long time to get into meditation. So be patient with yourself. Like, if you could only do it one time a week, then do it only one time a week. Because when I first started doing meditation, I was doing it for 5 minutes and I couldn't shut my fucking thoughts. I couldn't shut my thoughts off because you don't realize when you're in that silence how much like you're talking, how much you're not actually in silence, how much you're unable to hear yourself. But I'm telling you, if you want to tap into your power, if you want to be your authentic self, if you want to live in your purpose, if you want to be your true self, listen to your thoughts. Make space for that quietness to hear yourself. Because a lot of the times we're not hearing ourselves. So I started meditating. I would do 5 minutes a day. There will be days where I would not do it for 5 minutes. There would be times where I was doing it for 3 minutes and that's all I could do. And I would just get out of the meditation because it was just too much silence. And so if you could only do 3 minutes and that's it. If you could even do 1 minute of deep breathing, of just tuning into your breath, do that. And I'm going to do videos on showing you guys how to do these methods. Like, I'm going to show you how to do deep breathing, meditation, and all the other things I'm about to talk about. But meditation is that girl. I highly recommend it. You don't have to structure yourself to do it. Like, if you could only do it once a week, just try it. But like, literally, you'll get into the flow of it once you do it more, because it is hard. It is challenging. For me, it was not easy to do meditation. It took me years into like meditating to actually get into a good rhythm where I was meditating every day. Like, I didn't get into meditating every single day until 2 years of me doing meditation. So listen, it takes time, but it really is that girl. And once you do it, you'll fall in love. So that was the one for me. Another beautiful spiritual tool I consider this to be spiritual. I consider everything to be spiritual. But a spiritual tool that was super, super helpful for me to get me tapping into myself. And because, like I said, spirituality is all about recognizing your soul, your spirit, and seeing your power, seeing your purpose, seeing your potential. So these are the tools that helps you do that. The other tool that was super useful for me was journaling. Meditation and journaling, I would recommend that to the whole entire world. Those two things, game changer, changed my complete life. My life has not been the same since I've been meditating and journaling. Journaling, and again, it takes time to get into it because I was journaling once a week, and then like after I started it, it became once a month, 2 times a month. Then it became once a week again. Then I started doing it 2 days out of the week, and then gradually it became a normal thing where I started to do every single day, sometimes twice a day. Sometimes I'm journaling it in my phone, in my notes. Sometimes I'm doing voice memos, but I'm journaling. I'm speaking out my mind. I'm speaking out my feelings. And this was really a way to show up for myself. I felt so relieving. I felt like I was liberating myself from all of the voice, the inner talking. God damn, I can't even talk about it because even thinking about it makes me so freaking anxious because it was so much chatter. It was mental clutter. It was emotional suppression, like so much. And that really changed my life. I'm telling you right now. Another one that's really cute and that's not so much into the mind, but more so grounding energy is yoga. You could even stretch your body because your body holds on to energy. Your body holds on to your emotions. Your body is holding on to other people's feelings that you don't know. And even just giving yourself a really good stretch, stretching out your muscles, stretching out your heart chakra, all these chakras, it balances your mood. It really does. When you stretch and do yoga, it really does change your mood. It changes your what you can accept, what you can take in. It's like you're embracing new energy while you're releasing the old one. The energy that has probably been draining you throughout the week or throughout your day. You're stretching it out. You're releasing it out. Game changer. These are just 3 spiritual tools that I've used. There's so many tools that you can use to tap into spiritual energy. Tarot is one of them. Using tarot to understand your mood. If you really want to get into a place where you're actually doing some self-discovery, tarot is your girl. Reiki, energy healing, doing energy healing work, balancing out your chakras, taking out energy that's stored in your body, in your energy field. That's things that I will get into. But we have an energy field that is around our body, our physical body, then there's also an energy field that's surrounding your body. And when you're around certain energies, certain people, and you could feel like this is your energy field talking. When you're feeling someone's energy, you're like, oh, that person has bad vibes. That's your energy field picking up on that other person's energy field. And you're like, that don't go with me. That's your energy field. So sometimes you have to cleanse yourself. You can cleanse yourself with spiritual baths. You can cleanse yourself with saging the house. When you leave the house and you was around a bunch of people and that energy maybe didn't rub you the right way, sage. Palo Santo, baby, okay? There's so many things that can make you feel cleansed, but really more so in tune with yourself and your own energy. Because that's really how you get into stepping into your power, by observing your own energy and how you feel. When you clear all these things out the way, that's how you're able to see what your purpose, what your authenticity is, what your power is, where it lays. Clearing out all the clutter, clearing out all the noise, it's what's going to help you see the best version of yourself. Point blank, period. So this was a lot. I I honestly love talking about things like this, and I'm so happy that I'm talking about it more because I'm literally being my authentic self. You know, sometimes I feel a little bit concerned and worried or even hesitant about talking about things like this because I know it goes against a lot of people's beliefs. But let me tell you, a lot of the things that you believe in was put onto you, and it's not really your actual beliefs. But you won't see that until you question it. You know, you have to question things, and that's what spirituality is. It's not following everything that you've been told to do, but leaning life more with curiosity. You know, you're questioning, why do you do things? I mean, really think about it. There's so many different religions, and spirituality may not be yours. If this is not your cup of tea, like, it's not your cup of tea. That's fine. That is fine. You might be into something different, but you haven't even explored that because you've only been told to go do this. But most likely, if you're paying attention to my videos, then you might be into spirituality because that's literally all I talk about. And that's my thing, and I love it. I love it here. So for me, this could be relatable to somebody that, you know, never really fully felt comfortable or safe or acknowledged with their religion that they have now. Or maybe you don't even have a religion that you practice, because for a while I didn't really have anything that I was like, you know, going to for faith. And I think that's very important to have. I think faith is one of the most important things that you could have in your life because it really takes you to places that you want to go to. It really gives you that courage and that willpower to push through when times get hard, because times do get hard. There's always going to be good and bad times in life, okay? And so for me, spirituality is the one that does that for me. So you never know. You might not resonate with something right now, but it's because you didn't explore enough. So hopefully you can see what's up. It never hurts to try. Like, I've tried the Catholic, tried the Christianity. It just wasn't for me. And I never resonated with that. And now I resonate. I feel seen, and it makes me feel good. So you don't have to always follow what you've been told to do because, like, it makes you a good person. Like, you should do what makes you individually feel good, regardless of what anybody has to say about it, regardless if that's the bad way to go, okay? And I feel like sometimes they tell you that to like force you to go there, to a side that really might not be for you. And for me, I am not saying this to convince anybody to do anything that they don't want to do, because to be honest, I don't care what people do. I don't care about what people do. For me, I'm talking about what worked for me, and I am thinking like maybe this will work for you. Okay? So I hope that you guys enjoyed my video today. That felt so good to talk about. I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about spirituality. Like, I can't wait to talk more about it. But, you know, if you feel like you have friends or anybody that's interested in spirituality, tell them to come watch my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to always be talking about this stuff because this is what I love to do. This is me being my authentic self. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Please subscribe, share the link, comment, tell me your thoughts, share your opinions. Let's build a tribe. Like, let's get it. Have a good day. Bye. Mwah.